here's how we set up our Windows environment for the Cybersecurity Bootcamp. Let's start by opening up an Edge browser window. And let's go to the website, github.com/galaxy3-net/UCI-Windows-setup/tree/dev. Now in here, there are the instructions for setting up your Windows machine for the bootcamp. So the first thing we're going to be doing is creating the UCI user account by running this command. But let's wait a moment before we start running it and just go through the rest of the steps. And I also want to show you the script that you're going to be calling with this command here. Once we create this UCI user account, we're going to log out of our current Windows account, and we're going to log back in with the UCI user account that we just created. We're going to install our base packages by running a script, which the instructions are right here as well. And then finally, we're going to install the Galaxy 3 environment. All right, let's go back and look at the new user script. So let's open up new user.ps1. By the way, just make sure that your branch says dev right here. If you are not in the dev branch, if you're in the main branch, you need to click on dev. Otherwise, you won't see these files. So click on new user.ps1. So basically what we do in here is we prompt you for the new user password. So this is the password that you want to give to this new UCI user account. So make it a secure password because you're basically creating an additional user account on your machine. And therefore you need to have a good password so it's not easy for someone to hack into. Once we prompt for the password and you've entered it, then we run this command new local user, and we create that user account with that new password. And then we add that account to the administrators group, because pretty much everything that we're doing in this class, we're going to need admin privileges. So let's go ahead and back arrow to go back to the previous page. Also to explain real quick, the reason we're creating a new user account that you should be using to log into your bootcamp and also doing all of your activities is you really should be separating your like hacking activities, your bootcamp activities, keep it separated away from your regular user accounts. You really don't want to mix the two things. And if you really had the best choice, it would be to have a completely separate machine. In this case, you know, it's not completely necessary to have a separate machine, but it is advisable to go ahead and start with a, you know, separate user account. Okay, so UCI user is the user account that we're going to be using to log into all of our classes and to log into the Zoom for all of our classes. This account will be used to install things like the Windows packages and running your virtual machines. We'll get into virtual machines in a couple of weeks. Also using a Windows, well, okay, so here are the steps. So step one, using a Windows user account that has administrative rights, do the following. So what you need to do is make sure that the user account you're currently logged into to run this is an administrative user. All right, so we need to run the following command. As well. So let's go ahead and open a PowerShell window. So let's click on this magnifying glass here, and let's type in power. And as soon as the Windows PowerShell pops up, go over here and it says run as administrator, click on that. And you're going to get a UAC prompt here asking us if we want to give this PowerShell administrative rights, and we do, so say yes. Now, sometimes the window won't pop up. You might see like a little shield pop up down here on your taskbar, flashing, yellow, and you have to click on that and then say yes, approve, the administrative rights for this PowerShell. Okay, so we have the PowerShell open now. Let's go ahead and move it over here to the right. Let's go back to our web page. Go to this command that we're going to run. You can see there's a little copy symbol here. Go ahead and click on the copy. And then go back down to your PowerShell, click on that. In your PowerShell, right click, and you can see it pasted our command in there. If you can't get it to paste, you can also go up here and then say edit and paste. All right, but I've already pasted it, so I don't need to do that again. All right, let's go back to our window and let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay, I think I'm going to have to Control C. PowerShell can be finicky when you like leave the PowerShell and come back into it. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and paste it that other way. Edit, paste. This isn't going well, Carl. Okay, I guess the only option is to right click then. Oh, you know why? It looks like the PowerShell is doing something. See that little circle going there?
Yeah.
Well, let's recopy it again. We'll have to edit some of this out, although students are going to be running into some of these same problems. Let's copy it again, go back up here. Now let's do the edit and paste. Okay, so now it's prompting us for our password. So put in a fairly secure password because again, you're setting up a new account called UCI User on your computer, which has administrative rights. So again, you don't want to put an easy password. Also, be sure to write the password down. Well, at least put it in a password manager. You don't want to write it down. Put it in a password manager to save it. Okay, so. All right, so once you enter that password and hit enter, you can see it's created our account, UCI user, and the account is enabled. Okay, so that is it for creating that account. So let's go ahead and exit out of this PowerShell. Let's go ahead and close our Edge window. And let's go ahead and log. Well, you can either log out of this account or you can do a switch user. I think I'll go ahead and do a switch user. And you can see now the UCI user account shows up in your account list. So let's go ahead and click on it. And now when the UCI user account comes up, go ahead and type in the new password that you entered for it. And since this is your first time logging into this account on this machine or on your computer, it may take a few minutes for Microsoft to set up your account and get it going for you. So let's give it a couple of minutes here. Okay, so you can choose to do whatever you want on these privacy settings. None of them bother me, especially that this is like an account that we're just using for the class. So anyway, you can turn on location, find my device, diagnostic data. Again, hopefully you're not putting anything private in this account, and I wouldn't advise that anyway. These other things, tailored experiences, again, I don't care about all of this. Actually, what is this advertising ID? Apps can use my advertising ID to provide more personalized advertising in accordance with the privacy policy. So actually that one maybe you would want to turn off. So I'll go ahead and turn that one off and then say accept. Okay, so we need to again open up a PowerShell window. But before we do, let's go back to our web page and read the next set of instructions. So go ahead and click on Edge. And let's go to that same website in our new Edge window. I don't like to sync my data, so I'm going to say start without your data. And if you don't want to share your browser information, you can unclick that one. Again, I don't care in this case, so I'm just going to click on confirm and start browsing. Okay, so now let's go back to the GitHub website for Galaxy 3. So https://github.com/Galaxy 3-net/UCI-Windows-Setup/tree/dev. Okay, so we're right back to where we were at. We've completed the UCI user portion of the installation. So now that you're logged onto the UCI user account, follow the instructions below for setting up the UCI Cybersecurity Bootcamp tools on your Windows desktop or laptop. If you encounter any errors, Windows sometimes does have issues. They should be minor issues. Some of these packages do like throw errors that are benign. You know, they're nothing to be concerned about. But you know, sometimes you could have internet issues. So if these packages end up not installing at all, you may want to check your internet connection. This demonstration video, you know, with the link here, the video that we're making right now, you should be able to click there to bring up the demonstration. And as I note here, we do run into a couple of errors in the Windows install. Most of them are, you know, benign. It will take a few minutes for this to install, so have some patience. If you're running on Mac OS, we're probably not going to be supporting Mac OS any longer because VirtualBox, where all of our virtual machines run, are no longer, well, not no longer, they're just not compatible with the new M1 chip, you know, by Apple. All right, so now that we're going to be installing, we're going to open up a PowerShell window with administrative rights. Let me run through all the steps here, and then we'll actually do that in 1 second here. So, and again, when we open it, we're going to click on the Run as Administrator, just as we did in the last, when we created the UCI user account. When you're prompted to allow yes or no to the UAC prompt, we want to answer yes. And then in the PowerShell, you know, that we bring up, the PowerShell window, we're going to run this command. So we'll come back in here in a second to copy this command, but let's go ahead and get that PowerShell open. So click on the magnifying glass again, go into type here to search, type in PowerShell, and once it pops up, then click on Run as Administrator. Okay, I need to redo that. I think the no popped up right away, or the prompt popped up right away, and I actually ended up clicking on no. We have to click on yes. So let's do this again, Run as Administrator. And again, it popped up so quickly, I believe I clicked on the no. We have to click on the yes for this to work. Okay, let's go ahead and move this PowerShell window to the side again. Let's go back to our web page and this command, and let's copy it again. Bring up the PowerShell, let's do it the easier way. Let's go ahead and click on this little box up here, go to edit, paste. Once it's pasted in, hit enter. Now it's going to install all of the packages that are in this list over here on the web page. So let's give it a couple of minutes here. Okay, all those packages are now installed. So the next thing that we need to do is install the Galaxy 3 environment. This is the environment that's going to be setting up the virtual machines for the class. So let's go ahead and go through the instructions here. So now let's install the Galaxy 3 virtualization environment. This is where a bunch of virtual machines are going to be created, but in this case, a particular virtual machine named UCIBox, which we're going to be using a lot in the class, is going to be running. So be sure that we're logged into the UCI User Account. We are, we just logged in here a couple of minutes ago. Then we need to open a Git Bash window with administrative privileges. Show you how to do that in 1 second, and then run the following command. All right, so let's go back to our little magnifying glass. Let's type in Git, and you have Git command and Git Bash. We actually want Git Bash. So let's go click on this little arrow over here to choose Git Bash, and then say run as administrator. And then again, say yes here. Let's also move this window a bit to the side. Let's go back to our web page and copy this command under the Galaxy 3 environment. Go back to our, not our PowerShell, we want to go back to the Git Bash window. And this one, I believe we can also click here and say options. Nope, it isn't that. I think this one we actually do have to right click to paste. So let's go ahead and go into the window, right click, and then say paste, and hit enter. Now that just set up our virtual environment. So that's all that you need to do from here. We will lead you in the class through running UCIBox and connecting to UCIBox. All right, so that's it, Carl.